to ask you a brief introduction into the nature of the activities that you all undertake. Miss Davies, turning to you first, can you tell us a little about your group, the ex-JW Advocates Against Crimes Against Children, and what work it undertakes, please?
Okay, yes, it was a group that was set up to advocate for the interests of survivors of sexual abuse within the JWs. Obviously through the IICSA process and elsewhere, the recent APPG on adult survivors of CSA, and more broadly with a view to reducing the possibility of incidents of CSA within the JWs within the UK. The group is made up of 13 individuals, which consists of 8 females and 5 males. Some are ex-JWs, some are former elders, some are both ex-JWs and survivors, but Duncan will explain a bit more about that when he speaks. Within the group, I am both an ex-JW and a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I'm also the signatory on the witness statement submitted to the inquiry, although the evidence submitted to the inquiry, for which I am the signatory, has been compiled and agreed collectively by all the group members. We are all advocates for those who currently don't have a voice. I'm also a member of various Facebook ex-JW groups, including specifically survivor groups, and both of these activities are carried out in the hope that we can improve the situation for both current JWs and for those who are survivors of sexual abuse.
Thank you very much, Ms Davies. Mr Corbett, turning to you, what's your role within what I'm going to call the ex-JW organisation, please?
Yes, as Sarah explained, the group has a mixture of backgrounds. Myself, I'm a former elder for 18 years. There are other members of the group who are survivors of abuse within JWs. There are people who have family members or friends who are survivors. There are those who identify as dedicated and baptized Jehovah's Witnesses. There are some others who have served as elders along with myself. There are people who currently work in the NHS, some who work in the field of mental health and learning disability, and with experience of working both in public sector and as volunteers with children and vulnerable adults. So they bring with them their experience of having received safeguarding training in those contexts. Some of the members of the group, as Sarah mentioned, are in more than one of the categories. So we have one who, as an elder, formerly shunned members of his own family who were victims of abuse, and he himself, as a young JW, was a victim of abuse. So he falls into multiple of those categories. There are also members who have never been Jehovah's Witnesses. One who is a social psychology PhD researcher of religious discourse. Another who is a criminologist MSc, who completed qualitative research into the long-term impact of shunning, so those with an academic interest. And I think it's worth mentioning at this point, I know when members of the group have spoken before at an all-parliamentary group, the question was raised, why is there no internal group of Jehovah's Witnesses designated with this responsibility? The simple answer to that is that there is no internal mechanism within the Jehovah's Witness organisation to promote change from within. The response to any attempt to do that would be that the governing body is God's appointed channel, and if change is required, then change will come from them, and we should simply be patient and wait for it to happen. So a number of members of the group have attempted to promote change from within the organisation and been unable to do so. The culture is one of seeking confirmation. A recent example would be a letter was sent to circuit overseers asking them to find people in the congregations that they cover who had been